Hi, I'm Rob, and you know me as RBM guy, and what I do is make you better. That's what I do. Today is going to be a little bit off the summer, early autumn special. It's cold in the air. The sun is still warming. Really nice actually standing here, but the sun is still, and there's basically no wind to talk about. And the birds are chipping away, and the cars are driving by. Life goes on. And as you may know, I have a energy deficiency illness. That means that for the last 2 weeks I haven't had a walk, so I can do this. You may understand now that the golf grip people teach, with the thumb on the shaft, is the worst way you can swing a golf club. They've been teaching that for 120 years. And as you may know, I've been saying that golf instructors, professional two-pro level instructors, they all doesn't actually understand what you're talking about in teaching two-pros or amateurs. Naturally, people have a hard time believing that for obvious reasons, because if everybody's teaching the same thing, talking about the same thing, believing the same thing, then it must be true. But when you meet people that struggle with the simplest thing of playing golf, because they struggle after 50 years of golf, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, the evidence is there that what they teach you doesn't work, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. So one of the things people teach is the takeaway, right? Do this. So some things some teacher would say is you have to get your left arm straight in the takeaway, and that's what will happen, right? If I'm trying to push, that's because that's what will happen. If I try to keep my left arm straight, normally you do it like this. You just bend your elbows like that. But in golf you can't do that because that will feel funny when you do it. So what people then do is push the left arm into position. And if you do that, you lose your balance. So what do you do then to fix that? Well, obviously you're going to do this, and now you have a reverse pivot because you have to rebalance your body into position. Now your teacher, or instructor, whatever, might then say, well, you overdo it now, you reverse pivot, and you go, yeah, and then you try to fix it by keeping your body, but then you're going up here. And the reason for that is people don't understand the takeover and backswing. Professional golf instructors in the world doesn't understand that. So what you want to do in the takeaway and backswing, whatever it is a tilt. That's a tilt. And this is a rotation. If you look at my arms, the way they go, this is a rotation of that's a tilt. And it looks like that from this angle, that's a tilt. And that's a rotation. Most people don't know the difference between those two. So in the takeaway or backswing, you're not supposed to rotate. And because people don't know that, you're going to rotate anyway, because here's what happens. I'm going to keep my left arm straight. To balance that, I'm going to be overdoing it. It's unavoidable, right? And here's the thing. If I tilt, which this is a tilt, right? And I don't move my body. Because here's the thing that people don't teach you in golf. If I had a beginner in golf, I would teach them to do this. I would say to them, take the club, use my grip, by the way. Don't use the thumb on the shaft, that's stupid. Use my grip, right? Okay. Then stand still with your body, lift the club up, let it drop, and you hit the ground under it. And I'm using a very held on grip. If I use a normal, more up here, doing the same thing, I can't hit the ball, right? I can't really get the club to pass the ball doing that if I keep my body still. Why is that? And here's the thing what most people don't understand about this either, is that your brain learns differently than what people believe. If you're watching this and thinking you understand it, what's going on, you don't. You actually have to do this, even if it's a silly exercise for a lot of people. But it's a natural action. All you do is sitting down on your left heel and hip, and then you go like that. And your hip is located in your legs. And here's the funny fact. You can't rotate your hips. It's not possible. It's actually impossible to rotate your hips. And people teaching you golf tells you to do that. They don't know what they're talking about. Because if you try to rotate your hips, which is located in the legs, by the way, you have to rotate your leg to accomplish that. And they don't tell you to rotate your legs, right? 31 years old, currently, and he has a bad knee, and he can't run. He's an athlete, but he can't go out for a run because his knee is busted, right? He just has pain in his knee when he goes for a run. Why is that? Well, here's the thing how your knees work, right? Your knees are working like this, down and up. That means if you jump down or jump up, your knees work like that. You have some flexibility, right and left, or a turn, rotation, but it's not a lot. And most people when they play golf tell them to, keep a left foot straight, then you swing down. Now your knee is going to go left. Everybody tells you to do that. And I put pressure this way because your body is going this way. Now I have pressure on my knee here, not on the foot, not on my hip, not on my pelvis. All the pressure is now on my knee. Do you know how knees breaks? Ligaments, tendon and stuff like that. It's because you put pressure on the knee and twist. Same thing as the lower back. You put pressure on the lower back and twist. That's why the thing goes to shit. And when you're swinging a golf club at 120 miles per hour, whatever, then you have to, relieve the pressure after that and get your butt out of the way. And put all this pressure on the knee is twisted. And it doesn't take a genius like myself to figure out that's not going to happen in a good way. Over time, you're going to bust your knee. That's Brooks Koepka, swing mechanic. Most people don't know that. Now, a lot of people as an amateur, they also want to say, well, I want to hit longer. Well, all my testers hit longer. The longest one, as far as I know, added 100 yards. He went from 200 yards to 300 yards. If I'm doing this in the takeaway then, and I'm not moving my body, this is all you need to do in the takeaway. Right? You're going to still do a scapular takeaway, what we should talk about. You're going to start up like that. You're going to get up here, boom. That's what we do when we practice. Now, the next thing that's going to happen is watch how my body will respond to that. So I'm going to go up there. Now, when I support this, what I'm going to do is to sit down on my right hip, which is in the leg, my right heel. When I do that, my left heel is going to go up, and my body is going to do this. It's going to turn. In practice, if I do this first, and then let my body support that, you will see my arms goes like this. And you see my whole body turning. So a lot of people have been seeing that kind of motion. And your brain sees that as a rotation or turn or whatever, right? Then a lot of people assume, well, then I need to tell people to rotate also. No, I'm not rotating here. I'm not turning. All I'm doing is tilting my upper body and let my pelvis and my hip and my legs and all this stuff support that tilt. When I do that, you can see my left heel goes up, my left knee bends. Everybody talks about that stuff sometimes, So all I'm doing is tilting here with my upper body. And then everything else is just supporting that action. There is no rotation. Many people learn, because of the golf grip and whatever, that people teach you with the left arm straight and other stupid stuff, nonsense, And you start thinking, well, now I need to go back up here, boom. Now you have to return all this stuff, which means that you will start a rotation and down, but it will feel pretty strong. It will feel powerful, but it gets you in the wrong position, and that means that you're slowing down. Here's the facts. 90% of every amateur golfer, male side, hits 250 yards or shorter. That means while you are 30 to 40% stronger in your upper body and lower body than, for example, someone like Anne Van Dam, she's the two pro lady, plays on LPGA Tour. She hits around 300 yards. If you would wrestle her, you will win every time if you're 50, 60 years old. She's like 24 or something like that. She goes to the gym. She's fit. She's, doing all the work to get, strong, flexible, everything. You will still beat her every time when you go wrestler. Why is that? How can you be stronger in your body and you hit at least 50 to 100 yards shorter than she's doing? You think it's a magic there? There is a secret? Well, the reason why you can't hit long is one, very simple. You can't apply power. Two, and due to that, you have compensations that are like over the top, reverse pivots, early releases, early extensions, whatever, right? All that happens because people get in the wrong position in the downswing. Even troopers do that. Brooks Koepka is stuck. He is a compensational guy. Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, they have all that kind of problem and they don't know why. And they're trying to play with it, which can go so-so, especially if you're a trooper. Obviously, they're going to be an amateur because they learn the rest of the game really well. You can ship and putt and stuff like that, right? This is a problem for us if you're an amateur, that people will teach us things that doesn't work. Now, the next problem is that you will defend what they teach you. You will say, well, I paid a lot of money here, so obviously they must know what they're doing. And that's not how it works. And when you can't do something, usually you will say, well, I'm not talented enough. I can't do it because I'm not talented. No, that's not why. It's because you lack the skill. And then you teach, being taught, proper English here, grammar. You've been taught to do things the most complicated way you can do it in the golf swing because they don't understand it. What people have been seeing is that when you go up here and you see this rotation here, but it's not a rotation, it's an upper body tilt, that gets confused with the body supporting it, and then people believe, well, they have to rotate. It's very easy to make that assumption. Still wrong, but it is what it is.